Hey community, how are you? Janine Macklin here, transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, that was really almost traumatic for me. How are you? Good afternoon to East Coast. And I guess it's still morning for us over here, huh? Yesterday, I got on, I was asking you about how you were feeling. And I really want you to get in touch with your feelings because I think so much of what impacts us is what we feel. Hey, Kat. And I think I was saying to you also that I hadn't planned on doing this for this long. In March, this is April, May, June, July, 4 months I've been on. I gave myself about 96% of being on here regularly every day of the week. But today I'm not going to be on here that long because I need to get some sense of what, hey, glad to see you too. What I'm feeling, which I was saying yesterday, is I think part of why people do those 362 days of lives is maybe to get to that part. But I went to the dentist, and I've been going to Dr. Maloof's office for probably about 15 years. And so the last time I went in January, I always get him, although I knew they were changing things over and the Asian company was coming in. But I always want him. He's such a wonderful man. I know his family, his kids, and everything. I've been with him for all that time. So they're like, well, they booked me this time because he might be able to come in one more time. Well, of course, because of the virus, he couldn't come in. But the office has changed so much, and it was so technical. There was nothing personal about it. It wasn't like any of the people I knew from the past were there. All my receptionists were gone. And it was just such a weird feeling that everything's changing. And they move it so fast because of the virus. You have to fill out the papers in your parking lot. You have to wait a few minutes. Then they have you come in, and she had me sit down. She took my temperature. I've been 97.1 now for my last 3 temperatures. I guess that's a good thing. Then she has me do the sanitize my hand, and she takes me into a room. I don't know who she is. Have not seen her before. Everything's plastic. You go into the room, and then, she starts cleaning, and she's like, well, you have buildup under here. I'm like, I always have buildup under there. Like 2 weeks after I leave, I have buildup. And she's scraping and everything. And she's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And then we had the doctor come in and talk to you. And, it just hit me, which is why today I said, whatever you're feeling, feel it so it can move. I believe our emotions come and they rise up in us because they bring us a message. They bring us some information. And, I laid there and she kept cleaning. I had one tear that came down one side, another tear. And I just thought, wow, it all is really changing. I'll never get to see my dentist again to tell him goodbye. And I thought that's the most craziest thing. Why am I sitting in a chair crying about a dentist? But, I took my son to the dentist 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was a black-owned office. We had found them. We were trying to support black businesses here in Pasadena as best we could because there's not that many. And it never seems like we know. I like to know when I'm in the office so I can say goodbye. But we got a notice that he was going to be changing. And sure enough, we went again. And the last time we went now, it's called Cal Dental. And, an Asian group came in over there. Asian group came in over here. And so now I'm like, okay, how do I find another black business or dentist or to work with, and it's just like, I don't know that if it'll even be possible. And I know it's the craziest thing to cry about, but it just really hit me that, things are changing. Oh, I went to my doctor. That's what it was. I went to my doctor for this doggone tibia of mine to see if it's fractured or what I did when I hit it. And then I find out there's another woman talking to me and she's like, well, your blood pressure is this, this, and this. And I'm like, who are you? My blood pressure has never been an issue before. So I'm like, where's Dr. Blanco? She's like, oh, she retired. So it's like 3 doctors that have retired on us, because one's my son's dentist, in this process of the last 2 months. So all I can do is feel it. All I can do is say goodbye. And then, of course, I'll call some friends of mine and say, okay, who are your dentists and who are you working with? And are there any other options than, just going in and getting your teeth done and leave? And I guess maybe that's it, the way it is when you start with new relationships. But it was just the reality that change is happening. And it's happening for us on so many different levels. And it's just about us being aware of it, how well we manage change, how well we navigate our own thoughts and feelings about it. Oh, I guess I should have been standing over here, huh? And how well we allow that to flow through us and kind of like wash over us. And then you let it go and you go on. But I think it's the little changes. It's the little changes that kind of hit you, because it's like this one for me and then this one over here and this one over there. So if you're mad, be mad. I'm not telling you go out in the street and bother anybody. Be mad at home. I told you before, break some dishes if you need to that you're not using. Go to an empty parking lot and just break them. So that leaves me without a dentist for myself. I'm not sure. Do I have a gynecologist? I have to check to see if that changed. Hey, hummingbirds. There you are. Look at them. There's like 3 hummingbirds. The dentist for my son changed. And I guess that's it. I don't have too many doctors. And I'm probably going to change my primary doctor as well. I didn't like the way that they were saying that my blood pressure was up on that particular day, but didn't offer me any solutions except for, well, if it stays up, you're going to have to take pills. Well, I'm not taking nobody's pills. So I will shut everything down to change my eating again, to change my exercise plan, to get it wherever it's been all these other years before she came around, and, get it back to normal. But I thought, no, you don't just tell me, oh, your pressure's high, you're going to take pills. No, I'm not. You need to give me some other options. I'm not taking pills. You're not going to put me on a pill for the rest of my life so then I can be mad at the pharmaceutical companies. No, I control this part. This is right here. So what do I need to do? What do I need to shift? And what's your plan? You're the doctors. What's your plan? But your only plan is to give a pill. That's not good enough for me. I refuse to accept that. So it's just a lot when you're looking at what's shifting and changing. And it may happen for you when you find yourself going into your doctor's offices, because I pretty much stay out of them. I go in like once a year for my checkups. Other than that, I'm usually not sick and don't have a whole lot that I have to navigate with. But some of these relationships were people who I'd seen and been around and knew their families and their kids, for years. So there's so much shifting so fast, so quickly, that you don't even get to honor what was, to embrace what's coming. That's what it is, because they've had a going away party, but no, because of COVID. I would have gone to see, Dr. Malouf go. I remember one of the clerks at Whole Food was leaving and they weren't well. I went back up to take some cards or something and celebrate with them, and no, that had passed too. So it's the way we are able to let go of what's been in our life for so long and let it go in such a way that we can then extend our hand over here to be welcoming to the new stuff that's coming. And so right now, I'm not welcoming for no new doctor up there for my dentist. So that's not happening because it didn't happen right. I'll process it on my own and then find me another dentist if I have to. But it was cold, it's freezing, they've got air blowing everywhere. It's colder than it is in the doggone hospitals. And I get it, I think. I thought the virus was not susceptible to heat. So I figured maybe it should be hotter in there instead of so cold. But anyway, whatever you're feeling, you're entitled to feel it. And to push it away or ignore it or say I shouldn't won't work for us. I still am not sure that we've reached this point where we're going to be doing this yet. I think we got to here, and then now we're just kind of hovering here because people are having parties and people are getting sick and the hospitals are full again, just like when we started in March. And that's disheartening for me because I do want us to move forward in a way that we can recognize it's time for us to change. It's time for life on this planet to be different and to be about how that can look going forward, as opposed to still trying to hold on to a summer where we used to party and drink and hang out and travel and fly and we didn't have to worry about all those things. That's not our summer this summer. I guess that's another thing we're giving up. My son and I always took a summer vacation between one school year and the next school year. Although we're going to drive this time, but we're not getting on the plane, but we are going to drive. So there's a lot of things that are changing. There's a lot that we're letting go of. There's a lot that we may be grieving and not even realizing it. And so it's important that we recognize it, that we have some group or some friends or somebody we can connect to share it with, to process it, to write it in your journals, to release it, to say goodbye to whoever you can, however you can say that goodbye before they're actually gone and you're not going to see them again. As well as step into, okay, so what's the new going to look like? Because clearly we're going to be where we are for, obviously, I just claim it for the rest of the year. I don't want to, but I don't see how we're going to get past it. what are the holidays going to look like? What are the Christmas going to look like? But before we get to that, I'm still just wondering what school is going to look like for the children. Can you think about that? I thought about it last night or 2 or 3 o'clock this morning. It's cool right now because it's summer. You know, it's daytime in the morning, it's daytime at night. I love that it's daytime until like 8:30, 9 o'clock here in California. And then I thought for a moment, what happens when school starts? When we change that time, and I hope we don't, that means we'll get up when it's dark and we'll go to bed when it's dark. And if we have to be in our homes during that time, that won't be good for us. That won't be good for any nation or country or people to be in their house when it's dark in the morning, little bit of daylight during the day, and dark again at night, so that you have more darkness. That won't go well for us. We've got to figure out what we're going to do. I don't think they're going to be able to do the homeschooling. My son won't do well in homeschooling again. He's got to be in the classroom. He's an auditory learner. He needs to be hearing the teacher talk to him. He just can't be on there reading papers and just looking at stuff. But we're not at a public school, so we may have some other options. But kids are not going to, for their own mental health, that won't work for us to do homeschool and distancing. But we have that choice. We have that choice. We have the choice of being in live. His school only has, I think, 500 students in it. They have a choice of hybrid, which is back and forth. That will confuse my son so much that he'll just say, forget school. And then you have just stay at home. And he did ask for going to school. And I'm going to honor that with him and have to hover like I don't know what and check his temperature and make sure he has his vitamin D and his immune system is up. I just know for him, it will swallow him up to be home again. They were here for what? March, April, May, 3 months. June, July, no real summer. Then they'll be home again for August, September, October. Until what? Somebody decides. It just won't work, I don't think, for the kids or for the parents. We're going to now see more mental health issues. I think we're going to see more sadness and more lack of motivation going forward. They asked me for my suggestions. I told them to do what the parks do. I said, put circles on the football field. They can't pay all that tackle and touching and bumping up against each other anyway, and have them have their pods. And they assigned the pods that they sit with those friends during their lunchtime. And that's who they interact with. If it's only like 120 kids in 11th grade and then half of them don't come, then that leaves only 60 kids. Well, we can run a classroom with like 5 kids in it and social distance at our school. But I realize that a lot of the other schools, they can't do that. Yeah, they really do need their friends. So they've got to figure out how to do the small groups, because when it's dark in the morning and it's dark in the evening, I thought they're not going to make it. We won't make it. I never did particularly like when the winter months came, because it would be dark in the morning and dark in the evening. But, I get the transformation. I get that we have to let go of a lot. I just get also that the man that's not in charge isn't making it the most efficient way for this transition to happen. And it's going to impact people in ways that's not necessary. There could have been planning. I mean, it's something called planning, planning, where if there was one focal person or point and all of the other governors and everybody could come together and decide collectively what we're going to do, it'd be more uniform. Hi, Dad. It would be more uniform. But when you got this person saying this and this governor doing that and that governor, I mean, what do we expect? For the world, for the adults, for the children, for the babies. So it just even adds to it, what we're already having to deal with. And then I've been saying it for the longest, how do our county, state, and federal government, how do those employees get back to work when many of them have families? So, and I know everything happens for a reason. I'm not questioning. I'm looking at it and saying, okay, universe, what's the reason? I know this could have been done differently and better. So there's something you want to come out of all of this seeming somewhat confusion and turmoil. And the biggest piece I can get is that gradually we are starting to have the conversations where we're talking to each other about what really matters. And if it's white privilege, hi, hummingbirds. Is that the right topic? White privilege, if it's racism, if it's, taking care of our kids and educating our kids for school, if it's our health and how we're going to navigate our health. Yeah, I can just take a deep breath. I think last week I outlined, and there was 7 things we're being bombarded with every single day that we have to at least be aware of or stay abreast of as we keep moving forward. We have to let go of what no longer serves us because it just doesn't work anymore. And yet what we want to embrace, hey Eric, how are you? We can't even embrace because there's nothing there to embrace. No one set up anything, they haven't told us anything, and it changes from state to state, world to world. So just take a deep breath. That's it for today. Feel it. Feel it. What I looked at last night? I looked at, what, Always My Maybe? I kept wondering what that movie was. It's actually not too bad. Did they get together in the end? I can't remember. I don't think I finished looking at the end of it yet. She had a powerful question in there. She asked her boyfriend, she said, why isn't it enough for you just to be by my side? He didn't think his presence was enough because she's a good food critic and she's a well-known food critic and everything. And he wanted, I guess, to contribute in a different kind of way. And she just said to him, she said, why can't you just be by my side? Why can't you just stand here, be with me, focus on me, keep me happy, love me? And that's what I would need from you in a relationship. So it's really good. I thought I was going to bypass it, but I finally did look at it last night. So anyway, whatever it is that you're feeling, just feel it. I laid in the doctor's chair and just let the tears flow down my eyes. And eventually nobody asked me what was wrong. Nobody asked me what was going on. And the whole time I'm like, wow, will there ever be any other black dentists in the Pasadena area? Will I have to drive to LA now if I want to support a black business? Or a Latino business? Is there a Latino dentist somewhere in the Pasadena area? It's just, and I just wanted to honor the people who had been in my life for those years. My dentist was a really cool guy, Dr. Malouf. He's an older guy, so I would have wanted to at least let him know we so appreciated his services. He was gentle. He had a great office and everything. Dr. Blanco was my doctor. Our kids were growing up together. We always compared notes about what they were doing and weren't doing. So, those friendships, you just lose them. And when we're there on a regular basis, we get to go in, we get to say goodbye, see you later. We understand the transition. But now it's like you go in on 1 month and, a dentist, I only go to dentist every 6 months. And then you come back 6 months later and everything's changed. It's like, whoa. And yeah, you get the emails, but my God, I have so many emails coming, it's driving me crazy. All these political emails, because I did it on both parties. I want to see what each party was saying. It's crazy the way they market politics. It's just, that's a whole nother system to be addressed. But these are more personal ones because these are people I'm bumping up against on a regular basis. Like when I go to Whole Foods, I know my people and my staff at Whole Foods and who they are and how you're doing in your family and that kind of stuff. So to go back and people are gone, it just kind of caught me off guard. So anyway, feel whatever you're feeling. Know you're entitled to it. Let it wash over you. And as it washes over you, it'll pass. Keep taking those deep breaths. As long as we can keep breathing, we know that God's continuing to breathe our breath and be our heart. We still have goals. We still have dreams. We have things to accomplish and things to do as we continue to be part of this transition that's happening on the planet. Remember, I used to say to you, what are the things that you can control? What can you be grateful for? What can you focus in on right now? There were those 5 things I had for you. Go back to that as your basic. We can always be in gratitude and appreciation for what we do have, what we did have, and what's coming, even though we don't know what it is. I'm a trust that God, life, and the universe has something bigger for us than even America could have planned for itself. How about you? Take good care. Bye for now.